All right. First of all, Jamie, thank you very much for
You're
doing this.
welcome, Brian.
I'm so grateful that you're willing to talk to me about this. So we're going to get right into it. Thanks again.
Yep, no problem.
How long have you been retired?
So I have been retired. I will be 64 in August, and I had a little different situation. I was able to retire when I was 58. My wife had a very, very good job, and when our children were first born, I ended up working 2 jobs so she could stay home. So I worked 2 jobs for 14 years,
Yeah.
till the kids were all in school and all up and running. And so one day she just came home and said, Jamie, I want to sit down and talk to you. And I thought it was something serious. And she said, you know, I'm going to work until this is her exact thing. She said, I'm going to work till I'm 62 to get my full pension. But she said, if you would like to retire next week, you can be done, we are okay, you could do that. My question to her was, how much have you been drinking? So that was wonderful. She said, look at it as you worked 2 jobs for 14 years. This is me paying you back for that. You can retire earlier than I am. And Brian, I thought about it for a while, and it was a little scary, and that was on a Friday. On Sunday, I went to her, and I said, no, I'm going to go into work and put in my 2-week notice. And she's like, no, we're all good. So that's what happened, and I did, and that was 6 years ago. So it's been wonderful.
What a wonderful opportunity for you. What a beautiful wife to do that for you.
No, she's great. Big heart.
That's phenomenal. And
Yeah.
she understood the dedication that you had to your couple, your family, and all that. And now she's paying you back.
And it worked out really good because I was, in my 40s, 30s when I was working 2 jobs, and I'd rather have the time off now when I'm older,
Yeah.
So she has since retired. But yeah, no, that was wonderful of her.
Wonderful. And what did you do for a living when you did work?
So I was a credit and collections manager for a wholesale tile company. I have no college education. I didn't go to college. I actually started out at Target and eventually got into credit and managed a little bit of accounting. But I was a collections and credit manager for this tile company in Plymouth. And I was there about 24 years. So it was nice. It was a wholesale tile company, and a lot of, and for me, Brian, it kind of worked out good because towards the end, I started to get soft for some of these people that couldn't pay. I had to collect the money, get the bills, and you hear the stories about my husband has cancer, and I got soft. And it was a good time for me to leave because I was cutting some people slack. And I worked directly with the president, the owner, and he was a wonderful gentleman. And it just was a good timing for me to be done.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that happening. So your retirement came very quickly for you. Basically, you had a 2-3 week to think about it, and 2 weeks to go,
That's
and off you went.
Yeah, that was it. It was a big step. It really was.
So financially, you didn't even have to really plan for it, or had you been working on your financial plans for retirement?
Well, and that's kind of another thing. My wife has always handled the money. She was a director of finance, her job. She had 26 employees, so I never really did anything with the finances. We were very, very fortunate and blessed that we had inherited some things from her parents, the farm, and some other things, and she did some very good things in investing. So money, thank God, was not an issue for us, which we've been very blessed that way.
Yeah.
We've been able to do some good things with the money also. So
You mean from a philanthropic standpoint?
yes.
Okay, well, good for you guys.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yep, charities and Meals for Wheels, and we try to stay busy that way. And
Good for you.
so we always wanted to give back. So
Wow. And I feel the same way you do. I've been so blessed. I just talked to my friend just yesterday. I felt so blessed with what I've been given, family, friends, and fortunately financially also. So it's a good deal. Tell me a bit about, so far in your retirement, you said you've been retired for 6 years, is that correct?
Yeah.
Tell me about your retirement years. How have they gone for you?
Very good. I think it's anybody that's going to do that or retire or thinking about retiring. I think in the back of your mind, am I going to be bored? What's gonna happen? What do I want to do? What are my hobbies? How do I? And for the first year for me, Brian, was Okay, I don't want to sit around in front of the TV and eat bonbons. Okay, and the other little bit of the side story on that, and I don't want to get too much into it, but when I retired, I weighed 350 pounds.
Wow.
And I didn't want to be at home and gain any more weight because I was a 54-inch waist. My health was not that great. It really wasn't, you know. And my wife was one that she didn't care what I looked like or anything. She just loved me for who I was. It was actually my son that came to me after I retired and said, "Dad, you know, we want to start having grandkids." So anyway, I did the opposite turn and I started coming to the gym, started working out, kind of, I mean, you can almost call me a gym rat now, dropped 160 pounds. You know, I fluctuated a little bit the last year or two, but for overall, I love the gym. I've got huge friendships here.
Yep.
So for me, yeah, that was one very important thing is I didn't want to sit home and be bored.
And Jamie, you know, we can tell the people here that you and I met each other through the YMCA.
Yep,
We
that's
both
right.
work out here.
Yep.
You know, I'm here at 5 a.m., you're here at 5:30 or wherever you get here.
Yep.
And so that's a wonderful thing in your retirement, to stay healthy. And congratulations, I'm very proud of you.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people told you you're proud. That's an accomplishment. 160 pounds,
Yeah.
and you didn't take Ozempic, you didn't take any
No
of those
shot.
drugs. You just worked yourself in.
Yeah,
and
diet and
worked-
exercise.
Diet and exercise, that's
yeah.
the key.
Yeah, no, it's very good, and I feel good. And then the other kind of side of that was my wife and I had started to make some plans for when she retired, some traveling. Now she's been retired only for a year, but what happened in that transition, and it's a blessing again, is that we started to have grandchildren.
Yeah.
Which when I retired, we didn't have grandchildren.
Yeah.
So in the since I've been retired, we've had 7 children. So that's another whole piece that we watch them a lot. We
They
just spend a
change-
lot of time.
They change your lives, and so do we.
Yeah,
they
we
change
took
your lives.
They do, and so we took a little bit of a direction there, and our kids enjoy the help. I mean, we don't have to watch our grandchildren; we choose to watch our
Yes,
grandchildren,
us too.
and I have a ball with them. I just do.
I can imagine. I can know your personality. I know you would love them. So, I'll come back to retirement. What's the best part about your retirement? What's the best part?
Honestly, Brian, there's times when, and I think you'll find this, other people, and I don't know if it's the best part, but not having any schedule, yes, I keep busy, I have a routine, but I don't have to be anywhere at a certain time.
Yeah.
I don't have to, people looking at what I'm doing. If one day I want to sleep in, honestly, I forget what day it is sometimes because they just kind of, and I mean, that's dumb, but you know what? A lot of times I have to ask my wife, is it Friday today? Because it's just, you don't keep track. They just all run into each other.
Jamie, we've both heard that in our youth, that you never know what day it is.
No.
I have to ask my wife, what time is it?
I know.
I'm thinking, because you lose all track of
It's
every day's a
crazy.
Saturday
Yeah.
except for Sunday.
Yeah.
And I understand exactly what you're saying. So I'm going to go a different direction.
Okay.
What's the worst part about retirement? If there might not be one. I don't know. What's the worst part about retirement?
Well, for me personally, Brian, I don't, and I mean, I know it sounds odd, but I don't really, I love my life. There really isn't, sometimes I'm being pulled in too many directions. And I mean, that's not really a bad thing.
Yeah.
But, my daughter wants me to watch my grandson this day, but my son wants me to watch my granddaughter. So sometimes things get a little hectic. They just do. It's life. Life is what it is. But for me personally, there really isn't a worst part.
I feel the same way you do.
You know?
I feel like you're blessed to have your grandchildren.
Yeah.
And say, hey, what the heck? So, okay, do you have a specific routine you follow, or does it vary all the time? I mean, obviously the YMCA in the mornings.
I'm a very routine-driven person, and I don't like change a lot. So no, I try to keep the same. I live on a small hobby farm, so that keeps us busy. We just do wild raspberries and strawberries, and my wife grows peppers and likes to can and stuff. So we just farm maybe a 1/4 acre. And people say to me, "Oh, geez, why you have this land? Why do you only farm a 1/4 acre?" Well, let's see. On a day like today, get out there and hoe. And you tell me a 1/4 acre. A 1/4 acre is a lot more than people think it is.
I know. We have the same thing. My wife has 75 tomato plants, and
Yep.
we have 150 potato
No.
mounds.
Oh, really?
So we're like you.
Yeah.
But she loves to weed. She'll be out
Yeah.
there for 5
Yeah.
hours. I can't do
No,
5
that's
hours.
my wife too. And we ended up getting the land from her parents, and she's always been a farm girl since she's been 4. So she does some canning of salsa. So we do some types of tomatoes and some types of peppers, and she just loves that. It's just enough to keep us busy or keep her busy. It's kind of her thing, and the kids love to come out and pick raspberries and strawberries. Yeah, so it's just
Yeah, you sound like a very similar routine to me.
so it is fairly routine. I come here at 5, that's my thing. I go home. We walk our dog around the farm, usually around 7:30 or 8, depending on what time. And then it's kind of, well, let's see, who needs help today?
Yeah.
Or are we have a small place in this, well, it's a seasonal place. We do get up there quite a bit, not as much as I want. I just had 2 grandchildren in the last 3 months, so
Congratulations.
they're wanting some help. But it is there for us. It's kind of our little sanctuary.
Yeah. You and I have very similar stories, to be honest with you. We have a little place up in central, by where yours is, and
Yeah.
we get up there as often as we can. And it's a great gathering spot for the family.
Correct.
Our family meets us up there all the time.
Oh, that's great.
Yep. Okay, but different direction in your retirement. Have you had any health issues? Anything that has slowed you down?
So the only thing is, nope, and I will say that before I had lost my weight, not to get on that, but all my numbers were very high. My cholesterol, my blood pressure. In fact, at that time, they wanted to put me on blood pressure medicine. And I told the doctor, I said, give me 2 years. I said, just give me 2 years on my own, let me see. So as that weight came off, my numbers started to drop.
Yeah.
So now I don't take anything. Now I do, I play pickleball. And January of this year, I tore my meniscus. So I do have some knee issues. I am going to have, not a knee replacement, but I am going to have surgery in September I haven't been able to play pickleball in 4 months, and I also do golf, which I can still golf. I wear a brace now. But as far as health, scare, nothing, no blood thing, anything like that, just my knee. So it's, again, been very blessed and to stay healthy, and that's why I think exercise, for me personally, exercise and that, keep moving is important.
2 super big things for you and I at this facility is the socialization part of it and the physical fitness part of it. That's so huge because you can go sit at home and watch TV all day. But,
that's right.
Since you've retired, have you experienced any loss? Anything at all that you're still young, so you may not have experienced any loss?
No, and it's interesting that you say that because both my wife and I are the youngest of 5.
Okay.
So, and I have a sister that's 76. So the only, and wasn't a bad thing, is our children didn't really get to meet their grandparents.
Yeah.
In fact, my wife's parents didn't even meet my son. But as far as nope, I have my siblings, my brothers and my sisters. We get together on birthdays. Nope, so no big tragedies. Thank God.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. You know, some people do have those situations where whatever, you lose a spouse or whatever. So, so that's good. Do you keep in touch with old coworkers at all? Is there anybody that you reach out to?
That's an interesting question, Brian. Yeah, there's not so. When I first retired, we were getting together maybe for lunch once a month, and then as people go their own ways and stuff, there's a group that I still, like 3 of us, we mostly communicate like on Facebook but it's just, there's a couple that I always have kept in touch with. Actually, the president of the company is one who I won't reach because he's still there. He still owns it. So, but just a couple.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned Facebook and that. I have friends of mine who are anti-Facebook. They don't want anything to do with social media. I go, I love it. It's a way to keep in touch with all. I lived in Milwaukee for many years, and all my friends back there, my college buddies, they're posting what they're up to. I'd love to see what my friends are up to. So I don't mind the social aspect of and the excuse my French, but BS that's out there on Facebook, I just eliminate it.
For sure.
And the algorithm will say he doesn't like that. He's not going to get that. If somebody's posting tons of political stuff, I'll be honest with you, I block them. I don't want to listen to yours or mine viewpoint. That's not what I'm there for. I'm there for the.
No, I'm on like the grouse group thing on Facebook.
Perfect. Yeah.
Because I grouse hunt, and it's very interesting to see where people are doing and going. I don't mind. I mean, social media is kind of the way of the world.
Yeah. I follow the boundary waters, so it's all the stuff that's going on up there. So. You mentioned a little about your hobbies. Your hobbies would be Pickleball.
Golf. I love to golf.
Right.
You know, work around the yard. I am kind of a yard person.
Oh, you got a lot of flowers or
Flowers,
Yeah.
ponds, fire pits. Yep, and yep. I just enjoy it. I enjoy being outside, actually.
So your retirement came on you very quickly. Is it what you thought it would be? Did you envision retirement?
No, it's not what I thought it would be. Again, I wasn't. I should have thought in my mind that eventually, I have 3 children, eventually grandkids. That was really a big twist, because in the back of my mind, I wasn't thinking that we were going to have grandkids when I retired. You know, but we have enough, we can kind of come and go the way we want, but the grandkids was a little bit of a wrench, and don't get me wrong, we love hanging out with them. But for most part, yes, retirement is kind of, I enjoy it. I just enjoy it.
You know my favorite part? No boss.
Isn't that great?
And the people that look at me go, what about your wife? I go, we're partners.
Yeah.
She's not
Yeah.
my boss, I'm not her boss.
And
We're
that's
partners.
the way it is, and that's a good way to look at
Yeah,
it, because some
I-
people don't.
I have no boss and no one
No.
telling me how to do
No,
my
and
job.
that's and like you said, that's a huge thing. And I mean, I was very, when I say about routine, I was always at work 10 minutes early and stayed 10 minutes late. It's just the way I always was,
Yeah.
and I would worry if I was late or stuck in traffic. And stress is a huge health
Right.
thing.
So that's good. Your retirement was kind of what you thought it would
Yeah,
be.
it is.
With the grandchildren twist to it.
Yeah,
also.
that's right. Yeah.
Once you retired, did you downsize where you lived? Did you move to someplace else, or did everything just stay copacetic?
Great question. That's a great question. No, we built our house 25 years ago, and because we do live on I'll call it a hobby farm. It's 10 acres, but and because we got it from my wife's parents, she's very attached to it,
Oh, yeah?
and we are able to. We have a great house for entertaining. We live on a hill for sliding in the winter time, and we have a 4-wheeler for 4-wheeler. So no, I do believe at some point in time, you know, my son is even like, this is way too much for you to take care of, because I do cut 3 acres, but I still enjoy it right now.
Yeah.
Maybe in 10 years
Yeah.
I won't, but like I told my son, until it gets to be a burden or I don't want to do it, we'll stay where we're at, because it is a great house for entertaining, and now my family has grown to 15 of us, so it's just nice to be there.
You and my philosophies are very similar. I tell my children that when I can't do the things I love to do on our 40 acres,
Yeah.
that's when I'll go. I'm not going until then.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
How do you stay mentally active? You talk about the physical part of yours. Is there anything you do? Do you do Sudoku? Do you do crossword puzzles? Anything like that at all?
I still swear I'm going to read a book soon. I haven't read. Every time I say I'm going to read a book, I get like 10 pages in it. No, I mean, yeah, it's kind of silly, but I do like word find.
Sure.
You know, I have like 3 of them on my kitchen table right now. It's something to, like you say, keep your mind going. It's with, and I don't mean to dwell on it, but I see my grandkids 3 or 4 times a week. I mean, it's just the way it is, and
Yeah.
my mind is like this all the time. What do you want to do? What are you going to do? Do you have enough water?
Yeah.
Do you need to go to the bathroom? So it's. But I do like word find.
Another thing with grandchildren is, are you safe?
Yeah.
I saw one the other day. He was carrying a little toddler carrying around a pencil, and I'm like, "No, you're not running through the house because they fall on their face all
Yeah.
the time.
No.
Take that pencil away. I
Yeah.
don't want it jammed into your
Yeah.
sinuses
Yeah.
or your eye
Yeah.
socket. Are you kidding
Just
me?
worrying
No.
about them sometimes
Yeah,
when they're there. No.
That's mentally challenging.
It
You're
is.
exhausted when it's all done.
No.
You're mentally.
I
physically
am.
exhausted. Okay, that's good. Well, you do word find. Wonderful.
Yep,
love
I
it.
do like word find.
Do you have a bucket list? Do you have anything that you want to accomplish before you can't do it anymore? Anything else? Travel?
Yep.
People? Anything like that?
So, my wife retired a year ago, so we're gonna kind of, for another, so we're both we're 63, I'll be 64 now. When we turn 65 and some things with our Medicare and stuff like that, get a little bit of help. There are some things we would like to do. I'm not a huge traveler. I don't mind it. We go to Florida sometimes, every year in the winter. But my wife would love to go to a couple of places at Croatia. She would love to go there.
Why Croatia?
She's just read about it and had friends that had been there and how beautiful it is. And since my family came from Poland, I would love someday, again, those would be my trips because I'm not a big flyer. That's all. If you can drive there, that's wonderful. But as far as, again, we're very pleased with the way things are, the way our life is. We have our little place up in Nisswa. We go to Florida for a couple weeks. Nothing extravagant. But yeah, there are a few little places we would like to go yet and do some traveling. So
that would be your bucket list. Anything else bucket list wise that you personally?
well, for me personally, I want to play Pebble Beach Golf Course. We were set to play there during COVID. My cousin had set it up, kind of a weird short story, but my cousin had set it up. We had went to Las Vegas for his birthday. We drove to Pebble Beach on COVID to play, and they weren't renting clubs, and they wouldn't let you play there. So we drove 8 hours to Pebble Beach, and we couldn't play there. So anyhow, that's, for me, I would love to play, and it will happen. That's
a wonderful bucket list.
Because I do like Pebble Beach.
I'm glad I asked you
So,
that question.
it's been on-
Pebble Beach for people who golf.
I'll probably lose 3 dozen balls, but I will play there, hopefully in the next couple of years.
I hope you get that.
Yeah.
I do so. I know you're still young, but any regrets? Any regrets at all in your retirement? Anything? There might be none.
Yeah, it's one of those unusual. No, I don't. I actually really, when I was younger, I was super close to my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Even though my dad played baseball, was my coach and stuff. It's not really a regret. I wish I would have been a little closer to him at the end of his life. That's all. But I was busy. We were still close, but I didn't get to see him quite as much as I would have liked to. I mean, my mom and dad were married for 60 years. It just, my mom was always the one that I had went to. Even my dad was a wonderful person. I wish I would have been a little closer to him.
Yep.
And that's really my only only regret.
I think that sometimes in our life we're so busy with our families, it's just you don't have time. You run out of that time and you're crazy. So I get, what I would have loved is to probably ask my mother a lot more about her upbringing, her youth. Yeah. You know, her young days, high school days. I know nothing about that.
Oh, really?
I just never asked those questions. So I get what you're talking about. Have there been any, and might not, you're still young, is any life-altering events that have changed your perspective of life? Is there anything that has happened to you, maybe the death of your mother, death of your father, whatever it is?
I've seen some things happen. I mean, one small thing was my cousin that I was very, very close to had to have surgery when he was 39 years old. He actually had a ball break or burst. And I had went to see him. We were super close. I'm close to a lot of my cousins because we're all the same age. And he had went to the doctor because he had pain in one of his legs.
Yes.
And they had told him, he had just had the ball surgery, and I had just seen him that night. And when he went in the next day about his leg, he said, no, it hurts. And they actually said, you know what, go home, give it another week. Well, it was a blood clot, and it went to his lung, and he died the next day.
Wow.
At 39. And that, I still get, because he was super, and to think that I've lived almost 30 years longer than he has already, and that was just a weird thing that happened, but it still kind of bothers me, actually, because I hang around. In fact, we won't golf tonight, but because of the heat. But the 2 cousins that I hang around with all the time, we were a foursome all the time. And then, at 39 and he had 2 kids, so that kind of bothered me.
Yeah, and the aspect of that, they kind of poo-pooed it and sent them home, and that rather than what they maybe should have looked at.
And in a small turn of events, she ended up suing the hospital and actually won.
I wouldn't have blamed her.
No, and that was good because she needed some help after he was the main breadwinner. But that still, to this day, bothers me.
Yeah, I can tell. Well, I'm sorry that happened to you.
It is life. It does
Yep.
happen.
Yep.
I do think,
Is there anything, we're kind of coming more closer to the end, is there anything about your life, your retirement, doesn't have to be retirement related, that you'd like to talk about? Anything that is really relevant to you? Anything that, since we're doing this, you go, now's the time?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm kind of the person, Brian, you get what you see. I try not, I try to be 100% honest. I don't try to be phony. I try to be real. I'm kind of I don't know if it's the class clown, but I'm always the up one.
Yeah,
And how
yeah.
my wife and I made it 40 years, because my glass is half full, hers is half empty. It takes a lot to really get me down. It just does. Every day I wake up, I thank God that I'm up and another day. So I'm just trying to be a happy person and do what I can for people, and that's
You know what
really.
you know what I call it? Grateful and humble.
Yeah, I have a lot of shirts that actually say grateful on them.
Yeah, what you would describe that is, that's grateful
And that's a
humble.
great word. That I
Yeah.
couldn't think of it. That I'm just grateful. I just
Yeah,
am.
very grateful and humble for all you've been given
Yeah.
and the happiness in your life and your health.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, the success you've had with losing the weight you lost. Good for you. You don't know
Yeah.
that many people. I'll tell a quick story. A friend of mine, he's on Ozempic. He
Oh.
gained 4 pounds. Well, we were talking.
Really?
I'm going, it's not just that. You got to exercise too. And he just didn't proceed
Yeah.
with that. He didn't
No.
proceed with the exercise side of it too.
There's
so
no real simple answer to
No.
it. There just isn't. Everybody's different. What works for some people works for everybody. But there's just. It's basically eating and exercising. Really, that's what it was. Eating and exercise.
I think it is simple right there. Eat,
You
diet
know?
and exercise. You said it, in the beginning of this interview.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Tell me a wish that you have for your grandchildren. You said you have 7 grandchildren.
I do,
Is that correct?
yeah.
What's your best wish for them?
That they can have a healthy and happy life, and I will try to stay involved with them. I mean, I look forward to the day. I mean, my whole thing is I would love to be around for them to graduate. So if I can hang on for 20 more years, which I see some of the gentlemen here are 85, 90,
Yeah.
I don't think I mean, again, things happen. I think God has a plan for people. But, I'd like to see them grow up and, especially not any of them, help change the world. I mean, if they could have any influence on people or whatever, because that's very important. And I mean, they are going to be our next,
Yeah.
generation. And I want them to stay kind, and I want them to be generous when they can be. So that's kind of I just want them to grow up and be healthy and happy.
Happy.
Yeah.
Yep. Wonderful. All right. Last question. Any final words of wisdom? Anything that you and your experience, I can't remember if you said how old you are. 63, I think you said.
Yeah,
you were.
I am, yeah.
So you've lived a long life. Your parents were World War II generation.
They were,
probably.
yeah.
Any words of wisdom that you can think of? Anything?
Words of wisdom. I think for people that are thinking about retirement and that type of thing, yep, you certainly have to think about it and maybe have a plan. But words of wisdom, I just stay positive. I know things can get you down and stuff, but the next day is always another day, and it can always be worse. I don't care how bad it is, it can always get worse.
Yeah.
And just be the person you are. Anyhow.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I couldn't
Yeah.
agree with you more. That is wonderful words of wisdom.
Yeah.
So, well, Jamie, I thank
Yes,
you.
that was
very
wonderful.
much-
I appreciate
very
the
much
opportunity.
for doing this.
Yep, I love it.
And it's been rewarding for me to get to know you a little
Yeah,
bit better.
for sure.
And so, thank you very much
Yeah.
for taking the time.
I love it, Brian.
And doing this.
I think this is a great idea what you're doing. I think people should really get out there and look, and there's going to be good, valuable information out there from
for
everybody.
anybody. And like you and I talked before we did this, is that there's people who don't have your positive story.
Yeah, that's right.
They've had weird twists and turns in their
Yeah.
life, and people need to hear about that too, because someone else may be having that twist and
That's
turn
right.
in their life.
That's right.
But again, thank you
Yeah,
very
no,
much for
it was
your time.
wonderful.
Very grateful.
Yep.